What would the Stoics do in the age of Instagram? Imagine Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, sitting on a throne. Doom scrolling. Seneca filming morning routines. Epictetus taking selfies under a quote that says, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." Funny, right? But maybe not that far off. Because the world has changed, but human nature hasn't. If the Stoics lived today, surrounded by filters, FOMO, and followers, how would they survive? How would they thrive? Let's find out. The Stoics taught us that appearances deceive. Instagram thrives on appearances. The curated highlight reels. The perfect abs. The luxury vacations. But Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You could strip away the legend that encrusts a thing and see it for what it really is." A Stoic would scroll through Instagram and remind themselves, this isn't real. It's a projection. Behind the filters are fragile human beings, just like me and you. Where others see glamour, the Stoic sees impermanence. Where others feel envy, the Stoic practices detachment. Social media runs on comparison. Likes, follows, views, metrics that feed our ego, or crush it. Seneca would warn us. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. A Stoic wouldn't chase followers. They'd ask, what am I truly chasing? Status? Validation? Epictetus taught that the only things within our control are our own thoughts, actions, and character. A Stoic would log out and return to what they can control. They would post, perhaps, but not to be praised. They'd create because it aligns with virtue. They'd share, then release attachment to the outcome. The Stoics were deeply suspicious of ego. They believed the ego is always hungry, and social media is its buffet. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, wrote in his journal, "You're just a soul carrying a corpse." It wasn't self-loathing. It was humility. Today, people post to be seen. The Stoic acts to live well, even if no one is watching. The question isn't how will this look? It's is this aligned with virtue? In a world obsessed with visibility, the Stoic cultivates invisibility. They find peace in being unknown, unpraised, untagged. Instagram is noise. Endless stimulation. Endless novelty. But the Stoics prize stillness. Seneca said, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." You can't be present in life if your mind is trapped in a screen. You can't reflect if you're constantly reacting. A Stoic would schedule solitude. They would take walks without a phone. They'd sit quietly. Observe. Reflect. Because wisdom doesn't scream. It whispers in silence. The Stoics weren't spectators. They were creators. They believed in action over applause. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." Instead of consuming content, a Stoic would create value. Not for likes, but for legacy. They'd use technology, but not be used by it. A tool, not a master. So maybe Marcus would have an account, filled with meditations. Maybe Seneca would publish essays on patience. But they wouldn't care how many people liked it. They'd care if it helped even one soul live better. So what would the Stoics do with Instagram? They'd use it with intention. They'd unfollow what doesn't serve. They'd set time limits. They'd journal before they scroll. They'd pause before posting and ask, why am I sharing this? Most importantly, they'd practice what they preach. Online and offline. Because Stoicism is not a quote. It's a way of life. In the age of Instagram, Stoicism reminds us. You don't need to be seen. You don't need to go viral. You don't need to perform. You need to live well. You need to think clearly. You need to cultivate inner peace. And that doesn't need a filter.